The Lantern Keeper's Gift. Once upon a time, in a valley wrapped in starlight, there was a quiet village called Glimmerbrook. Every night, the village would light up with hundreds of glowing lanterns hanging on porches, swinging from trees, and floating on the river like tiny stars. In the very heart of the village stood a small, round house made of stone and moss. This was the home of Luma, the lantern keeper. Luma was not tall or loud. She didn't wear fancy clothes or carry a wand, but she had a very special job. Every night, she lit the lanterns of Glimmerbrook with her gentle flame, a soft golden light that came from her own heart. Her flame wasn't made of fire. It was made of kindness, of good thoughts, brave actions, and quiet hopes. One evening, just as Luma finished lighting the last lantern, a sudden wind blew across the valley. The trees rustled, the river shivered, and every single lantern went out. "Oh dear," whispered Luma. She held up her flame. It flickered weakly. She had been feeling tired, not just in her body but in her heart. The villagers gathered worried. "Why is it so dark?" asked little Ori the owl, flapping his wings. "Where did the light go?" cried Millie the mouse, hugging her tail. Luma took a deep breath and said, "Don't worry. I will go to the mountain of echoes. The first flame lives there. It might help me relight the lanterns and my own heart." So off she went, with only her tiny flame in a lantern and her patchy cloak. The path was long and filled with shadows, but Luma was not alone. She was joined by Tibbet, a bouncy rabbit with ears like scarves, Nessa, a quiet fox who walked softly beside her, and Pip, a shy firefly who had never flown beyond the village. They followed a trail of moonberries, glowing just enough to see the path. First, they passed through the whispering woods, where the trees spoke in rustles. "Turn back," hissed one tree. "It's too dark," sighed another. Luma felt her flame flicker again. But then Tibbet sang a silly song about dancing carrots, and Nessa shared a memory of her mother tucking her in at night. Slowly, Luma's flame glowed a little brighter, warmed by laughter and love. Next, they crossed the Bridge of Doubt, a rope bridge that swayed over a deep, misty canyon. Luma hesitated. "What if I fall? What if I fail?" But Pip flew ahead, glowing gently, lighting the way. He whispered,
"You've always lit the way for others. Let us light it for you now."
Step by step they crossed, and Luma's flame burned stronger. Finally, they reached the Mountain of Echoes, where the wind repeated everything you said. "I am tired," Luma said. "Tired, tired," echoed the mountain. "I feel small, small, small." Then Nessa stepped forward and shouted, "You are brave!" Tibbet added, "You are kind!" Pip glowed brighter and whispered, "You are enough." The mountain echoed back, "Brave, kind, enough!" And with that, Luma's lantern burst into golden light, not a fire, but a warmth that reached into every corner of the sky. Her heart was full again, not just because she lit lanterns, but because others had lit her up too. They returned to Glimmerbrook, and the moment Luma stepped into the village, lanterns lit one by one. Ping, ping, ping. Not just from her lantern, but from every home, every heart, every tiny act of kindness. Even Millie the mouse had a glow. I helped someone find their way, she said proudly. Luma smiled, her lantern steady.
Just come from me,
She said softly.
It comes from all of us.
The end. Moral: even those who light the way need a little light themselves. Kindness, support, and believing in each other help all of us shine.